Welcome to Making Video Games with Python Lesson 8. In this video, we're going to explore a way of ending our game and also how to create a small pause just before the game ends. So let's get to it. So let's go and open up our code. And let's review what we have. So we have two decisions where if the zombie eats the turkey's health reduces by 10. Or if we shoot the zombie, then the zombie's health reduces by 10. So we kind of already have it built in our scenario for when the game should end. Honestly, if either the turkey or the zombie's health goes below 0, the game is over. And that's exactly what we're going to write. So if the turkey's health dips down below 0, or the zombie's health dips down below 0, then this game is over. Now, kind of like real slick, I just introduced the logical operator OR. If you're unfamiliar with the logical operator OR, just like what we said with the AND operator, just take it from our natural language. We know that when we use the word OR, it's about either this or that. One of these two things needs to happen in order for the ultimate result to occur. So as long as the turkey's health is below 0 or the zombie's health is below 0, then we want to do something. Now, in this case, what we want to do is we want to end the game. Now, if you recall, in our maybe lesson 2 or lesson 3, we had introduced this while loop as part of our game loop that says while not game over. And let me bring up the game library here. So it might make more sense when we look at that value. So let's scroll down to the game object. And if you recall, there was a variable called over that got set to false. And again, it makes sense. When the game first starts, the game is not over. That's why it's set to false. So our job now is to change that value. Now again, in here you see self.over, but in our program, our variable game is that game object. And game.over represents this value. So what we want to do inside this if statement is simply say game over equals true. Essentially saying the game is over, you're done. So let's run the program. And let me just minimize this, bring this over here, just so you can see the code as we're playing the game and make that association. So right now, I'm going to try to end the game by killing the zombie. You can see the zombies at 70, 60, 50, 20, 10, and one more should do it. There we go. So you'll notice that the game closed out immediately. Well, that's because once we set game over equal to true, well, guess what? The game is over, which means we get out of the while loop. So we exit all this code and then go to the very next line, which is game.quit. That's the reason the screen closed out immediately. So what we want to do here is we want to create a small pause so that the person has a chance to get some visual feedback that the game is over. Now, one thing I've done prior to the video is that I've created another variable called game over, which represents this image here of game over. So let's go ahead and draw game over. Now, I don't want you to get confused. I don't want you to confuse this variable, which is game.over. This comes from the game object. Game over is just the name I gave to this image. Two completely different things. The other thing that we're going to do now is over here. So just prior to quitting the game, And do I have the game library open? Yes, I do. I want to scroll down the game library a little bit. And so you can see here, there's a lot of functionality here. So there's a function for just displaying score. There's a function for displaying time, the ability to play music, set music, change the volume, our update. There's ability to actually change the mouse so you don't see it. If you notice in the game, you can see that little pointer, the little arrow. So you could turn that off so you don't see that, but you still have access to the mouse. And this is what I was looking for. So the game object has a function called wait that waits for the person to press a key before continuing on. So let's take advantage of that. Again, this is coming out of the game object. So what I can do here is I could say game.wait, and let's wait for the person to press the space bar. Now you might ask, why did you put a K in front of space and an underscore as well? Again, these are values that come from Pygame. So I decided not to replace those values when I created this library. I just end up using the same values that the Pygame library has chosen, and they've chosen to represent K for key, and then whatever key it is in uppercase letters. All right, so let's go ahead and run the game again. Let's put the code close by. So let's go ahead and click on it, and I'm going to see if I can try to piss off the zombie enough that he moves fast enough to kill the turkey. Come on, move faster. And there we go. So you can see here that the turkey, and there's a little glitch here. We'll talk about that in a second. But the game is over, and notice that the game is paused now. It's waiting for me to press the space bar in order to continue. Now let's talk about why you see two turkeys here. That has to do with the fact that we've moved the turkey, but then the zombie has also collided with the turkey, which then caused the move to. Both of these will draw something on the screen. Now, an easy way to kind of fix this is to add what's called an else statement. Now, an else statement will do this code or this code, but not both. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this turkey.move and move it down here. So that way, it's either one or the other. Either there's going to be a move to or a move. Let's see if it solves our situation here. Bring our code, and let's agitate the zombie so it moves faster, but not quite enough to kill it. That should be good. Okay, so notice now we only get one turkey on the screen. That's because we're either moving the turkey to a location when the zombie eats it, or we're going to allow the turkey to kind of move on its own. Now, we could do something similar to with the zombie where, okay, the zombie is going to move to a location, or it simply just moves on its own. Again, I'll leave that as an exercise for you to try. Now, let's go ahead and get out of our game over screen by simply pressing the space bar. Now, I know you can't see me, but trust me, I'm pressing the space bar right now. And that closed out our game. So let's go back to our presentation and let's review what we've done. So we explored using our image's health property to decide when the game ends. So as long as, or while either the zombie's health dipped below 0 or the turkey's health dipped below 0, our game was over. We were able to end the game by simply stating that game over equals true. That is how you end the while loop. That one statement is a very powerful statement. We also explored how to use the wait function from the game object to create a pause in the game that allowed the user to kind of see the final score and see a nice little game over logo on the screen. We were able to fix a small glitch in the program by introducing an else statement to our if statement that essentially just allows us to do this or that. So one of two choices are going to happen based on a condition. So hopefully you're excited about the final step in our Zombie Thanksgiving game, which is to introduce sound. Enjoy.